channel. I'm Kanna Ree, and this video is going to be about the books that I read while I was on vacation. So I recently went on a cruise. No internet, no data, no nothing, unless I wanted to pay $40 for the whole thing, and that was just for social media only. And I wasn't doing that for just 5 days. That's a month bill right there for one of the internet services that I live by. But while I was on that trip, I downloaded a bunch of Netflix shows and, well, a couple of Netflix shows, a couple of movies, and 7 books on my Kindle. So I got through most of those books on the cruise, and this is just going to be my little update on how I felt about them. So here's my Kindle. The first book that I read was Firebolt, and let me pull up the description right quick. And all of these books were free when I downloaded them. And typically the way things go when I download books is always the first book is free, and then the sequels are paid, and depending on whether or not I like the book enough, I will pay for the sequel. But the first book, Firebolt, is about this girl who didn't know that dragons existed, and so her and her father were always on the run. Her father didn't really tell her why they were on the run, and so finally the people who were after them finally caught up to them, and so she and her father got separated, and she got transported not to another world, but to like this hidden world where dragons existed among other people, magic existed. That was just like a normal thing for them, and so she went to this school with dragons and other people, and she had to overcome her fears and everything, and basically that's what happened. It's a YA. I was anticipating this being a love triangle, which I do not like love triangles in fiction. That is like one of my pet peeves. But I was anticipating this being a love triangle, but because all of the people in that book are attractive, and one of the characters she felt an intense attraction to, and then she also later on got a boyfriend, which she was also attracted to, obviously. But it ended up not being a love triangle. It ended up just being her and everyone kind of growing as people. Out of like 5 stars, I would give it a 3. The premise was good. I just wish it was kind of executed a little bit better. The second book that I read was, let me see, A House Divided by Nicole Ciacchella, I think. It's the first book in the series also, and it's about this girl named Ciana who leads a double life. She's expected to be this prim, demure lady, and at night she's not. She knows how to she's basically kind of like a ninja / spy type deal. She knows how to go through people's things. She's like a little detective in her own right, because people don't seem to, I guess, expect her to be anything more. She's expected to marry this childhood friend that she doesn't love, and it's just like a whole bunch of political machinations, and that's kind of what drew me in. And also what drew me in is that her love interest is also like, I guess, one of the characters and stuff, and they have a bond that they had shared when they were younger, and it grew up, and they separated and then grew up, and when they came back and saw each other again, their bond grew even more, and it turned to love. And at first it was like, I don't care for the age difference that they have, mainly because like when she first met him, she was 12 and he was like 18 or 19, so I was just like, no. But after they got older and stuff, I kind of approved, because the main character, Cian, she also acknowledged in the book that she needed him when she was younger to be like a figure to care for her and to see her as a person and not as some fragile little thing. And as she's old, now that she's older, she can just like acknowledge her feelings that she had as a child for what they were, which was her falling in love with him. Kind of want the second book. I gave it kind of like a 3.5 stars. So let me see. The next book was Cupcakes, Trinkets, and Other Deadly Magic. And this was my favorite book that I actually downloaded. This book is about a girl who didn't really think she had magic. She can feel it and everything, but a whole bunch of people, she didn't really think she had magic, but she could feel it, she could sense it, and she collected little trinkets that did have magic. And she also ran a cupcake shop. That was her. She had a cupcake shop, and it was like kind of like a little bit of her magic that she had was infused in her cupcakes, and so it was really, really popular from humans to other magical creatures alike. And bodies are starting to be found around wherever around the city where she lives, and she's suspected of killing people, but she doesn't have magic, and the only reason they are suspecting her is because her trinkets are always found around them. And so it's not much of a romance. There's like a tiny bit in the book that's short-lived, and then things happen, chaos ensues, and so I guess it's going to lead on into the second book where I think there's going to be more of it. I'm not sure. I do want to buy the second book, and I gave that like a 4-star. So the other book is The Seventh Son. I guess it's like a novella. It's about this girl who got transported to another world and didn't know what was going on. She had this little pottery cup that's how she got transported to another world. I don't have much to say about it. I was bored throughout it. And it didn't seem like I just didn't understand where the plot was going or anything for it, so I just kind of skimmed through it, even though I did read like a good majority of it. I gave that like a 2.5 stars out of 5. The next book is Emperor's Edge by Lindsay Buroker. Buroker? I don't know how to pronounce her last name. But I actually read The Emperor's Edge on Wattpad when it was on Wattpad, and I read the sequel and part of the third book on Wattpad because I really, really loved it. I loved the characters and everything. And it was just nice reading that again and seeing that it was free on Amazon, where I can read it once again for free, even though all the other books you still have to pay for the other books, which I'm fine with. It's to me, it's worth paying for. But not to say that free books aren't worth paying for. It's just that I loved The Emperor's Edge so much when it was on Wattpad that I would have paid for it even if it hadn't been on Wattpad before Wattpad did its premium thing. I would have paid for the premium account just to get this book. It's about this former enforcer / police officer. I'm pretty sure she got framed for a crime that she didn't commit. And she meets an assassin, and things happen where someone's trying to kill their king, and she's trying to stop it, but she's doing it under the guise of like, I guess, illegal activity, and she's being framed, so she's trying to clear her name and everything in the midst of all that. And I also gave this 4 stars because nostalgia and the fact that it was just as good as I remembered it. And then the last one was Wicked Bartender, and I gave this a 2-star because I just didn't really care for how it was written, and there were other things that like kind of turned me off from it. From like one of the lines that really had me looking like was like, "I'm a feminist, so I don't wear skirts." Yeah. So once I read that, and then other false claims of feminism, I was just like, I'm not really feeling this book. So I'll continue to read it and stuff, but nah. The plot was good for what it was. It was about the devil who, well, not the devil, but this guy named Mattioli, and he's like a demon lord, I think. And he was chained to a tree by Joan of Arc. He was chained to a tree by Joan of Arc, and for like he was chained to a tree by Joan of Arc for a good few hundred years. And so what happened was when he finally was unchained from that tree, he realized that Joan of Arc was dead, and Lucifer kind of wanted him to live as a human until he was called upon. And Joan of Arc's reincarnation, named Joan Simone, she was living, and she had a dog named Michael. It was the archangel Michael, and it was just kind of a mess to me. I wish it was like a little bit more streamlined, and I just wish there was more to it. I probably would have given it more stars if there were. But those are all the books that I read. The 7th book that I downloaded but didn't read was Olive Branches Don't Grow on Trees by Grace Mattioli. But that's basically like My Big Fat Greek Wedding, but with Italians, I think. And yeah, it's like My Big Fat Greek Wedding, but with Italians. And it's like not a wedding, but it's more like dysfunctional family trying to bring them all together. And it's just like a family friendly book, but I haven't read that yet, so I don't really know what to say about it. But that's the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.